Hello, I'm the Dark Master. Welcome back to my LEGO reviews. In this video, we shall be covering set number 71757, Lloyd's Ninja Mech from the core sub-theme of Ninjago. It comes with 57 pieces in 2 bags and 2 minifigures. Let us start there, shall we? From left to right, we have Dojo Lloyd and a boa Destructor. Let us start with the hero of the set, Dojo Lloyd. Starting from the top, we see the Legacy Ninja Hood Wrap piece in a new recolor. This time it is dual molded in regular green with a lime green colored bandana. It is an excellent piece and is nice to see in new colors. It only further expands Machist's creativity, especially since my favorite color is green. Plus, it has good molding. Removing the hood, we get a better look at his face print. It's not new, being used ever since the Lego Ninjago movie, but it bears green-colored eyes and a double-sided expression. One is a cocky, open-mouthed smile, while the other is a determined, serious scowl. Overall, a good head print, but nothing particularly original or new. Going down from there, we can see his torso. On the front torso print, we see he bears green ninja robes that are marked with asymmetric patterns. On the left half is dark green stripes, while on the right half are lime green dragon scales. The underrobes are a nice pale sea green. Overall, some really great looking printing. Going to the back print, we see he has a large circular symbol containing Ninjago text, layered over a lime green Eastern Oriental dragon print. Lloyd's arms are asymmetrical. The left one is a dark green, while the right one is a brighter lime green. His hands are both regular green. All are interesting choices. Going down to his legs, they are surprisingly molded in olive green and bear some really detailed printing with the belt, robes, and rope. For weaponry, Lloyd wields a simple katana, newly molded in lime green. While it is a simple piece, it's always nice to see new colors that only increase the flexibility of mocks. Overall, this is a great reimagining of Lloyd for the Ninjago core sub-theme, and the introduction of lime into his color scheme is a great decision that only highlights his whole green ninja nature. Now let's go to the villain of the set. Now, I've already talked at length about my opinion on the Snake Warrior faction. They're visually perhaps the most boring and lazy bad guys Ninjago has yet had, and completely lack lore of any kind. I recommend my previous review if you want a more in-depth discussion about them. I don't want to be too repetitive here, so I'll just cut it off here. The Boa Destructor uses the Pyro Viper's head, newly molded in gunmetal and orange. Despite being an inverse of the one seen in the Viper Flyer, I actually think this is a far better recolor. The metallic skin stands out, and the solid orange looks like actual magma instead of just flames. It also still has all the nice details from the old head. Yet, despite the moderate praise I gave, it's honestly still a lazy reuse of a piece that only waters down the figure as a whole. I mean, I have seen this piece in 4 colors. I as of now, and it's just lazy at this point. Like, come up with a new head. At least the old Serpentine had variety. Going down to the torso, we see he has a Conan-esque chest plate with some nice metallic sheen and little details of cyan markings. It also bears an olive WWE style belt with a viper head. It's honestly a good torso print. Going to the back, we see he has back armor alongside some scales. Overall, it's weaker than the front print, but it's still fine. Going to his arms, they are a utilitarian gunmetal coloration that is perfectly fine, as are his orange hands. Going down further to his legs, they are orange with numerous cyan markings and copper scales. For weaponry, the boa destructor wields a plain silver spear. Rather bland, though perfectly utilitarian. Overall, he's a perfectly average bad guy that serves its purpose decently fine, but is in the end utterly forgettable. Moving on to the pieces, the set has a relatively small selection of them, though what is here is decent enough. The chest mech armor is fine, the circular plate with that print is really well done, as are all the green pieces with the exception of those SCCBS limb pieces in green. That piece is trash. Despite being a recolor, trash is still trash, regardless of it being green. The leftover pieces are really nothing to talk about, though. But what about what the pieces build? Well, there are two builds. One is a small terrain build, so let's start with that before moving on to the main attraction. This small terrain build has a brown base plate that gives off a sort of earthy feel. To the side, we see the new Lego Spider piece, released in 2010. While I always respect the OG Spider, what with his own simplistic cartoony charm, and its usage in many classic sets. Here's a brief comparison photo between the two. I would be lying if the new piece wasn't a massive upgrade in all respects. In terms of small details, it actually has eyes, more anatomically correct fangs, and a thinner abdomen with marked sculpting. The only downside is that the new piece has yet to be in as many recolors as the OG, but hopefully that will be rectified in the future. The rest of the side build is a shrine meant to hold a lime green katana. It's fine, the bamboo piece is nice, though the rest is just utterly forgettable. Now let's cover the main attraction of the set. So this is Lloyd's Ninja Mech. Starting from the top, we see the cockpit is surrounded by some nice gold slopes and plates that give a good open air shape. Going down from there, we see the cockpit piece is decently molded and can be easily hinged open for access to the interior. The interior is arguably the most bland part of the mech, though it does have a lime green slope, so it's not all bad. Going to the arms of the mech, we see it utilizes those really bad SCCBS limb pieces that I already talked about, and they have the illusion of articulation thanks to that pinhole. It is a lie, though, much like the cake from Half-Life, and the arms can only be articulated at the shoulder, which is fine, I guess, but really limited. The upper arms is armored by golden slope pieces, while the lower half has a dark green plate. It can wield a pair of large golden katanas. Going to the waist, he has a lime green Nexonite shield piece armor. But more noteworthy is that it has waist articulation, which is honestly pretty good here. He can turn all the way around. Going down to the legs, they are also a specialized single piece, but I'm more forgiving due to its superior design, and it's never really been sold as a replacement for CCBS. These specific pieces were always meant to be this sort of way. It also has wide feet that provide a stable base for the mech. Even if it only has one point of articulation, these legs are perfectly fine. The back of the mech is pretty basic. Overall, how is this set? Well, first I need to provide some context. This is a 4 plus set which were designed to be easier to build than the average LEGO set, and Ninjago Core is already designed to be a quote-unquote back-to-basics sub-theme of Ninjago. So in essence, this is a simplification of a simplification, and one must level their expectations accordingly. I mean, this was never going to be a perfect mech. It was never going to be like Lloyd's Titan mech that I've reviewed. Check out that video, by the way. But for what it is a neat little mech. It honestly has the same vibe as those big daddies from BioShock, in that it is this sort of short, bulky steampunk aesthetic, albeit with a little Far East Asian twist of sleekness. It is sadly held back by the lack of articulation, thanks to those SCCBS pieces that I utterly despise in every way. Lloyd's minifigure is great. The Boa Destructor, though possessing some good traits and has an awesome name, is just utterly forgettable. And the little side build is just there. Sure, the spider's neat, but the rest of it's just bleh. The final judgment is that this is a fine set for the youngest of kids and the collectors who enjoy collecting a complete set of sets like myself. I'm the Dark Master, and join me next time on my LEGO reviews. Have a wonderful day.